Hello, thank you all for tuning in. I'm Selena Marche, and this is You Plus Happy, where every other Tuesday I bring you someone who challenges us to define happiness and success on their own terms with a dose of laughter. Remember to subscribe to the You Plus Happy podcast on YouTube. It really helps, y'all. And watch the episodes, please share them. And follow us on Instagram at You Plus Happy and Selena underscore Marche with a video that went viral today. I said that in my last video, but y'all know. And this week we have Donel Fernandes,
Yes.
who is Atlanta-based screenwriter and director. His first project is the Oxtail Anime, and he looks forward to captivating audiences with scintillating storylines, dynamic dialogue spoken by his charismatic characters, all while raising awareness to issues that are currently and have historically plagued minority communities globally. Welcome to the show, Donel.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Thank you for the opportunity to be on your platform.
Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to jump right in. You ready?
Let's do it.
Okay. How'd you get started?
Wow. So I come from an athletic background, so anything in the arts was completely just out of my realm. But during the pandemic, I just had a lot of time on my hands, so I was watching a lot of shows, Insecure, Lovecraft Country, just a lot. And I was like, I would love to, potentially create my own, so I can tell a story that's indicative of what I've seen growing up and what I'm around. So I had an unfortunate, traumatic experience happen, and I was like, I'm gonna write about it. And I just wrote down thoughts that turned into sentences, that turned into pages, that I eventually just curated into a short film.
What made you turn those? So wait, what were the first thoughts? You were just writing sentences?
Yeah, I was just trying to cope, honestly. I was really just coping with what I had experienced. And I didn't feel comfortable talking to anybody about it, really. So I would just write, like, man, this makes me feel like this. I feel like this. I wish I could have done this. And then I just started making it make sense, if you will. And then I was like, I'm going to tell the story. Here we are.
What made you want it to be a script?
I wanted to, after experiencing what I experienced, I wanted to bring awareness to it, to try to make others that look like me, that have grown up like me, avoid issues. And I know that the issues, like you touched on, are the issues of heart health and emotional intelligence. I feel like I know, so actually from doing my research, that they plague our community at high numbers. So I just wanted to bring something that people can digest, as well as hopefully get a message to just be serious about their health.
Yeah. When you say heart health, what are you referring to?
Cardiac arrest, heart failure, heart attack, all of these things.
And heart disease is the number one killer of Black women in this country. I don't know about men, but for sure. So it's a lot of things fall under heart diseases.
Yes.
So what did that happen to you?
It happened to someone close to me. Yeah, very close to me, as well as my grandfather had to have 2 double bypass surgeries due to heart issues. And just growing up, I would just hear people just say, "Oh, my grandfather has to have a pacemaker," or "My grandma had a heart attack," and it almost had sounded like just so regular. And I was like, "No, this is a problem that we need to talk about." And like you said, from doing my research, I've learned that the way that heart attacks and cardiac arrest, the signs are very different in women compared to men. So a lot of the times when women may think that maybe my clavicle hurts, and it's actually related to the heart. From doing my research, I see that any pain from the atoms from the neck, down to the belly button, in a woman could be related to a heart issue. So I just wanted to, bring out that information.
Yeah. Did you, in your research, also look up like ways to prevent these things?
Yes, I did. I actually, at my premiere, I had I had a registered cardiologist there,
Mm-hmm.
just to give some,
Really?
yes, just to
Okay.
give some information to my audience
Uh-huh.
of, the outlets that people have, just to
Mm-hmm.
make sure they know their status,
Yeah.
know what they're predisposed to, and know proper ways to prevent these things.
Yeah. What did they say? Like a few tips.
Yeah, they just said, a lot of it comes down to diet and stress.
Yeah.
What you're eating will affect you.
Yeah.
The amount of stress that you're holding will affect you. So you just find an outlet. Find an outlet if you feel like you're stressed out, if you're
Mm-hmm.
overwhelmed, of how to release it. And just, live a very healthy life, mentally as well as physically.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel like maybe you don't have to cut out the mac and cheese
Mm-hmm.
altogether, but if you're eating it 5 times a day, bring it down to 3 times a day
Yeah.
and incorporate some exercise.
Right.
And then, excuse me, another thing that Dr. Taylor Smith, we give her credit, said is, just find a doctor that you're comfortable with and
Mm-hmm.
ask the questions.
Yeah.
Um, if you're not clear on the way that they're expressing something, tell them, no, I need to understand this, because
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, this is your body, it's your health, and you
Yeah.
need to be in control of it.
Yeah. I think it's so important. I mean, I can't. I always talk about not telling people what to do because
Mm-hmm.
that's important to me. But I think it's really important to educate ourselves about food and health and physical health
Yes.
because it's a huge part of our lives.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I'm not. This is like controversial, but I'm not down with like the body positivity movement because well, we should embrace ourselves,
Yes.
but I think it leads to trouble when it's like let's just ignore certain things.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should all embrace our bodies and
Yes.
everything, no matter what size or shape or whatever. But to like neglect just to avoid educating ourselves,
Yes.
that's like, come on.
No, I completely agree. You have to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and be happy with yourself. I
Yeah.
100%
Yeah.
agree with that. But there are, if if you just sorry, go to the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the doctor. Go to multiple doctors.
Yeah.
And if your BMI is
Mm-hmm.
is heavy, if they're saying you're at risk for pre-diabetes, pre-hypertension, things like that, for
Mm-hmm.
heart disease, you may like the way you look, but you want to continue to like the way you look 20, 30, 40
Yeah.
years from now. So I think there's a lot of research out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I challenge you, don't take the research, or don't take the facts that I'm giving you. Go do
Right.
the research on your
Right.
own,
Right.
to just know that, hey, and make the best decision for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, I want everybody, but predominantly the ones in the minority community, to be healthy.
For sure. And like when I say body positivity, it doesn't matter what size you are because I have people in my family who are tiny and they have
Mm-hmm.
high blood pressure.
Yes.
So it's
Yeah.
like it doesn't matter. It's still important to
Absolutely.
get checked out no matter what
Absolutely.
size you are.
Yeah.
So I'm not dissing any size, and I'm
Yes.
not saying any size is like prone to whatever.
Yes.
I'm just like I don't like movements that perpetuate ignoring things.
No, I 100% agree.
Don't care for that.
Yes. Yeah. I 100% agree.
And you talked about too the other side of things. So like that's the physical, but also you were mentioning how we take care of ourselves and like our mind and our.
Yes. Yeah. So in the film, you'll see two couples.
Mm-hmm.
One couple, very loving, in their early 20s. They're doing their best, working hard, doing hard working jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see in the opening scene, they're living humble, have a humble abode.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll see another couple. One gentleman, Miles Grant is the name of the character. He wakes up, silk sheets, silk pajamas, has the nice house, but as soon as he wakes up, his wife is yelling at him.
Mm-hmm.
So he's already woken up to a stress-based environment.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes to work. He then witnesses a traumatic experience, and you just don't know how is that going to affect him mentally.
Mm-hmm.
So, and a lot of people unfortunately wake up in those emotional states,
Mm-hmm.
that they wake up and they're either not happy with themselves, or they have a partner that's beating them down, and then they have to go out in the world, where there are going to be other stressful factors.
Mm-hmm.
And that can just lead to other issues such as stress eating, such as not eating at all, such as having a high level of stress that can raise up your blood pressure. Yeah. So it's important to, if you're dealing with something and it's weighing on you, know the outlets. Mm-hmm. Know the I had Dr. Kennedy Smith at my sorry, Dr. Kennedy Lester Jackson. Okay. And she was at the premiere, and she's a licensed therapist, and she was saying that, hey, she suggests therapy for everybody because you may not think that you're dealing with something when in fact potentially you are. Yeah. So it's just important. Make therapy cool. Make just seeking help and seeing how you can be better mentally, have some better mental clarity. Make that cool in our environment, because I feel like it is a stigma still within. You think so? I believe so. Yes, I feel like it's definitely started, the wall starting to break down. Yeah. But there's still, and I can't be a hypocrite. I haven't sought therapy as of yet. Okay. I'm not going to sit up here and say that I have. I do suggest it. Yeah. But what. Everybody in everybody's time, right? They will. But I remember growing up, like if I would have told, say, my boxing coach, like, oh, I have some PTSD from seeing something, yeah. He's gonna be like, get in the ring and spar. I'm about to show you. Oh, you think you got PTSD? I got some PTSD for you. Like, yeah. Where now it's like, okay, maybe you can. Okay, let's talk about it, or maybe get a telemed doctor, or just find a friend. So I definitely feel like it's the barricade is being broken, but it is still a very taboo thing. Okay. I didn't think about that. Like, that is still taboo. All right. I'm gonna take it from you. Yeah. I think because people talk about it so much that it feels like it's not. But I was just talking to my mom the other day, and I was telling her some things that were kind of stressing me out. Mm-hmm. And I was like, but then I feel like I wasn't like asking her, I was just saying it out loud, and she didn't say anything. But I was like, I feel like a punk or something, like, because people back in the day working at the steel mill, they had to go to work all day, they had to take care of the kids. Mm-hmm. They didn't have time. Like, I was thinking about Everybody Hates Chris, the dad. You think he had time to be worried about anything that he was working on? I mean, of course that's a show, but I think that's that relates to real life. Jobs. Yes, and like nobody, they're like, oh, I'm sad, I'm stressed. Just shut up. So I don't know if that's still in me, because I was like, I'm so stressed right now because of XYZ. And I'm like, wait a minute. I don't even have kids. I don't have anything. It's just me. And I'm just like, well, oh my gosh, this is so much. But I'm like, I felt that made me feel, and I shouldn't judge myself. I always talk about giving ourselves grace, but it is what it is. I was like, I'm a punk. I need to like tighten up, because you gotta just, life goes on, and da 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 da. So it is still, I think seeking out therapy is a part of me feels like self-indulgent, and then the part of me is like, maybe it is helpful, and then it takes courage and vulnerability. Absolutely. For sure. Because when I reached out to therapists, they asked me to write a letter or whatever to them, tell them what I wanted to talk about, and I started crying, and I didn't even know that this stuff was in, like, I didn't know I was feeling like that. So, and then I only had a few sessions. I was like, I can't do this. It's so much work. And I don't like talking about myself for an hour. And yeah, no, honestly, that we're here with it, because that's my thing of like, I'm gonna tell somebody my problems so another person can judge me. Mm-hmm. And I know, audience, that's not proper. I know. But yeah, so just being honest. And it's hard, like you said, going back in the day. That was kind of my mindset, and that's how I was brought up. Is like, you just work and you deal with it and you figure out a way, and don't be a punk. And it's like, and I feel like it is unfair, especially to Black women. I have a sister, a cousin that's pretty much like a sister, a mom, that they've just told me that just through their successes and in their very successful in their careers, they just had to deal with things, and they're taught that you're gonna have to deal with these things, but you have to be strong to prevail. And it's just like, it shouldn't be like that at all. On top of the fact is, you should have somebody to talk to about that, if that is in fact a reality for you. Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. But I think having somebody to talk to is important, even if it's not a quote unquote therapist. Yes. So
I'll be your therapist today.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. I shouldn't be anybody's therapist. They're gonna leave messed up. They're gonna be worse. I'm like, just do it. Punch him. I think you should hit him. No, that's
honestly, but I feel like that was the era we were brought up in. Like, it's like I have friends, like almost all my friends have kids now, and they're in like the soft parenting phase or something like that. Yeah, and like I distinctly remember like getting into a little squabble like in like K4 or something, and my dad was like, "Did you hit him back harder?" And I was just like, "I tried that," but he's like, "Oh, you came into the house?" I'm like, but it's just like they gotta raise you to be tough because you're gonna deal with stuff. Life isn't gonna be a cakewalk.
It's so true.
While I'm not promoting violence, I do feel sometimes it's warranted. Sometimes it's warranted, but also I definitely feel like it's a generational thing that we're being able to express our words and express ourselves in different methods.
Yeah, I think we're human. Like humans evolve. Like so, there's definitely an evolution happening. But I don't know. I just thought about this. There's so much like gun violence now. Maybe we should just be fighting. Because when I was growing up, everybody was fighting. Yeah, there's no guns.
It's so my friends like clown me all the time because I'm like I want to shoot the ones. Like I'm always down for that. Always.
Down for that.
Oh, to fight. Like
okay. Yeah, not shooting.
No. But I mean shoot the hands. I'm sorry. But because I'm just like, why are we fighting? Like why are we shooting? Like that's so soft to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with that. Like it's crazy. And everybody just has access to a gun now, which is a whole different topic for discussion. But it's too readily available and people are ready to just pull it rather than okay, you got a problem with me, I got a problem with you. Let's figure it out. Let's see who's the baddest, and then we go from there. But yeah, the gunplay is wild.
It is very, and I literally just thought about that, and I was talking to our producer Anthony in the building about men can fight and then be friends. Yeah. Like y'all can even physically fight, and then the next day like, oh no, we cool. Women don't do that. If women fight,
it's to the death. It's to the death.
You're not gonna be friends. Y'all be getting lunch together the next day.
No, that's true. That is definitely.
So I think even more for y'all might be. I mean, bring fighting back so we can take guns away.
Yeah. If that's what's gonna take. If that's going to take.
I don't think you expected to talk
I
about this today.
But it's funny. We were talking off camera about boxing and MMA. So go if y'all got a problem, go to the boxing gym.
Yeah,
figure it out.
You have a ref there.
You got a ref. You might become the next Floyd Mayweather, Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford. Like it might actually turn out to something good.
There are people getting paid big money to throw them hands. And registered.
Yes. See my boy Mike. Mike just made 20 M's for fighting Jake Paul.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
So you never know.
You never know. And we never thought we would see Jake Paul in that. Who would have thought it? Like with Mike Tyson, really?
That hurt my soul.
I think everybody was a little. Yeah. Come on, I don't know. I don't
see
know.
Unc go out like that.
He's like, I'm gonna fight you next.
Yeah.
Just chill. Back to your. I did want to go back to Oxtail Anime.
Yes.
Wait, how'd you come up with that? That's a very interesting name, in my opinion. How did you come up with the title?
So it was originally titled 180, just because it was based off of one of the main characters, Miles Grant, just how his day took a complete 180. And then I'm Caribbean, so I added a lot of Caribbean influence into the project. So there were cooking of oxtail, there was ting Jamaican soda, there was the main characters, the other main character, ginger tea, which if you know a Jamaican, they think that can heal everything from COVID to an amputee arm. Like ginger tea, you'll be fine, like, bro. But so yeah, when I wrote that in, I added the line Oxtail Anime, and it just like always kind of registered with me. And then I actually had my script reading at COA. Shout out Gary.
Okay. Shout out to Gary.
Yeah, Gary and Ralph. And one of the people in the audience was like, "Yo, that Oxtail Anime, that should be the title." And I was like, "I've been thinking about it."
Wow.
Literally, somebody just shouted it out. I'm like, "Bet, here we go." So.
Wow, that's so cool. That okay. So these script. How else was the script read? You said script reading, right?
Mm-hmm.
How else was that helpful?
Oh man, it was really helpful because one, this is my first script,
Mm-hmm.
so I was very nervous to even
Mm-hmm.
share it with anybody.
Yeah.
And it was actually a really funny story. So I was training at the Mayweather Boxing Gym by
Mm-hmm.
Atlantic Station, and there was a trainer there named Trell. Latrell,
Mm-hmm.
you might know her. She goes to COA
Okay.
often. Really dope, just creator, trainer, just person.
Mm-hmm.
So we were training, and she just had like a really interesting playlist that we were training to.
Mm-hmm.
And I just went to her after. I'm like, "Are you in the arts?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'm an actress." Then we got to talking, and she told me about COA.
Okay.
So I pulled up, and first of all, again, I was nervous
Mm-hmm.
because I'm like very much to myself.
Yeah.
So being around entertainers was just very stand. I was very standoffish. I
Mm-hmm.
ended up, feeling comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Told Gary that I had a script, and he was like, "Well, has anybody read it?" And I was like, "No." He was like, "Well, bring it here for us to read." I was like, "In front of everybody?" He was like, "Yeah, we have actors. Tell them how you want them to act, and they'll read it." And
Yeah.
yeah, it took a couple weeks, but I scheduled
Yeah.
it, and it was great because I had some of the actors say, "Hey, I would add this, I would add that."
Mm.
The audience took well to it, so it kind of gave me that motivation. I was like, okay, maybe I do have something. I'll keep it going.
Yeah. How did the script change for you and how was that process from you were being at home by yourself with
Mm-hmm.
this script and
Mm-hmm.
then exposing it to the world, to
Yeah.
COA, which is part of the world.
Yes.
And then how did you feel leaving? What was the before and after?
Wow. So the before was just nerves, 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 nerves. Like I said, it was my first time.
Yeah.
And then after it was just like, okay, wow, like it's people are taking well to it.
Okay.
And some of the people that them people that gave me some feedback, I could tell from their demeanor that they were very no nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't think that they were
Yeah.
I didn't think they were bullshitting me.
Uh-huh.
So I was just like, okay, let me just keep it going.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also did share. This is an important part with Risha Archibald. She was the executive producer of the show Johnson on Bounce TV and Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just worked on a plethora of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, she was working on the set that I got a chance to be part of, and I shot it to her, and she was like, "Wow, this is really good, Donel. You got something." So she was like the final like battery. I was like, "Okay, let's really pursue this."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you I know you said you were nervous, but were you worried they were gonna be like, this is
Yes.
garbage?
Yes. Yes. 100%. I was ready for them to cut me up. Like, and it's funny because I was I was nervous, but I also was on defense mode, and it's crazy how it goes back to fighting. So
Yeah.
I told them before, like, you have to do a quick introduction. It's like, yo, this is new. So I come from the boxing background, so y'all got something crazy to say, like we
Oh.
could get it popping, like
Oh.
but I said it as a joke, but real, I was like, yo, I'm
Like, I
gonna
ain't
come
gonna
at
say
you too
nothing. It's
crazy.
so good.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, nah, they really, yeah, I got really, really good feedback, and
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Did
So,
you apply the changes?
oh yeah,
I
for
know you
sure.
got the title. The
Mm-hmm.
title changed.
Yes, yes.
But did you do different, like anything with the characters? Anything
I,
with the...
I did, yes. I did change some of especially the female characters,
Mm-hmm.
because I got the feedback from
Yeah.
females. So they're like, hey, this is more realistic for what a female and female conversation would sound
Right.
like.
Right. Right.
So yeah, I really appreciated it. And
Yeah.
even going into shooting, when I decided to direct it as well, I told my team, I'm sorry, just please give me feedback. Like,
Mm-hmm.
tell me, hey, this isn't it, because I'm not bloviated enough to think that it's my way or the highway. Like,
Right.
there's certain scenes that I want to look a certain way,
Mm-hmm.
but I intentionally brought in a seasoned DP. Shout out Fletch Power out in LA. I brought in a seasoned executive producer, E-Man, that's out here doing great stuff.
Wow.
My casting director, it was her first time casting, but she had been around the industry, so she knew. And she
Okay.
hosted rehearsals and everything.
Wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, it was a really a learning experience
For you.
for myself, but for the team as well.
Yeah. Okay. How did it feel when you heard the words being read by actors for the first time?
It was definitely nerve wracking.
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely nerve wracking. But I just had great support. Like I have to give it up to
Yeah.
the main actress, Shantae Henry. It was
Mm-hmm.
funny. We went to I went to college in New York, and we worked at Bubba Gump Shrimp Company together in Manhattan. And she's
The
from
one in
Miami.
Times, is that in
Yeah,
Times
Times Square.
Square?
Yeah,
Oh,
right
yeah,
across the street
yeah,
from
I've
Good
been
Morning
there.
America.
Yeah,
Yeah, we was in there.
back in the day.
Yeah, serving shrimp. And we made a bond. She was originally she's Jamaican, but from
Okay.
Florida. But she
Okay.
was out in New York doing the acting thing,
Mm-hmm.
and we just stayed in contact. And we ended up both here in Atlanta. Found out on a whim. We hadn't talked for like 5 years.
Wow.
And I told her like, hey, I wrote something. You should come to the reading to check it out.
Yeah.
She hadn't even seen it yet. And after the reading, she was just like, I'm going to be your main character. Wow. Told me just like that. And I was just like, you would want to? Because like she's done, big time stuff. So for her to tell me like she would be my main character, like, oh word. So yeah, she was the first person I locked in, and she was also she was able to bring some um just realness to, okay, this is what you got to have. Yeah. And I want to be there for the rehearsals, and I want to know, when I'm meeting my co-stars, what the chemistry is like, and stuff like that. So yeah,
it sounds like you had a budget for this.
I did. I did have a budget, yes.
How did you get the funds?
Man, saving up.
Really?
Saving up, yeah,
you funded this project yourself?
Yeah, well, I did do crowdfunding. So I did do a seed and spark, and I was blessed enough to raise 5,000.
What?
From that, yes.
How did you? Okay, I've never done crowdfunding. Did you have to put in first?
No. So I mean, you create the website, you promote the hell out of it, and yeah, I just promoted. I promoted. You do paid ads, you do stuff like that. But I was really lucky to have people that showed up for me. My family put in, my friends, Risha, like just people in the industry. They just believed that, hey, I had something going on. So yeah, I was able to raise 5,000.
How did you promote it? I know you said you did paid promotions on which platform?
Instagram and Facebook.
Okay.
And then actually on the website as well, you can promote it to other people within the industry.
Okay. And what did you have to give them for them to say, oh, okay?
So you have to write a treatment. Okay. You have to have the information about short film. You have to do a video just stating, what the premise of the film is going to be. So I shot that with Shantae, the main actress. Just saying I'm the lead actress. This is what it's going to be. This is what the purpose of the film is going to be. And yeah, that's really all you needed.
How much money came from strangers, you think, or do you know?
How much money came from strangers? I would say at least 1,500.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, there were people that I had no idea who they were, but they just they donated. And it's funny, I don't know the chronological order we'll get to, but when I did the premiere, that was, I feel like, the most intimidating part about it all was so I did my premiere at NCG Brookhaven, and I sold tickets through Eventbrite.
That's here?
Yes, in Brookhaven.
Okay.
So it's about, from here, maybe about 30 minutes.
Okay.
Great theater. I definitely recommend if anybody is doing a premiere of any sorts. They were wonderful to work with, just immaculate. But I ended up selling 92 tickets, and just seeing total strangers just buy tickets. I'm like, I have no idea who this person is. Like, and they bought 4 tickets. Like, that was crazy. that was crazy.
I have a few questions.
Yeah.
I'm writing them down. How did you get the doctors to come? The physicians?
Yeah. That was very, very important to me.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to have a realistic feedback and Q&A after. So.
And responsible.
Yes. Thank you. So the therapist I had actually met through my day job. She's based in North Carolina, but she would stay at the hotel that I work at, and we had just garnered a relationship. And I was like, hey, I'm working on a film. and a big part of it is emotional intelligence and
Mm-hmm.
mental health. Would you be down to come? And she said yes.
Mm-hmm.
The cardiologist, I got through my sister is a veterinarian, and
Okay.
she had went to undergrad
Mm-hmm.
with her, and yeah, I so many cardiologists have fell through, and I was just having the hardest time. Oh my gosh,
What?
I'm talking about pulling up on them, like driving, like, hey, I'm trying to promote, heart health awareness in the Black community, and it was hard. It was definitely hard, but my sister pulled through for me at the end.
Wow.
So yeah, so we were able to get Dr. Taylor Smith.
Okay. From the crowdfunding,
Yes.
did you pay yourself?
No. So the
Okay.
only so the
I'm trying to get
crowdfunding.
you in trouble.
Yeah, no, it's
I'm
fine.
just kidding. Because
Yeah.
I mean, you paid the actors, right?
No.
Okay,
So this was all.
where
So they
the
got credit. So
okay.
yeah, they got credit in lunch. So I did have to pay, all the executive producer, the DP, for gear.
Mm-hmm.
That's the locations,
Oh,
PAs,
mm-hmm.
audio. That
Mm.
stuff. It adds up. It
Yeah,
definitely adds up.
yeah,
So while I was very blessed to raise that 5,000,
yeah.
because it definitely helped a lot.
Did any of it go to the editing?
Yes.
Did you edit it or you had someone else?
No. So I actually brought in Aiko Fairchild. She's
Okay.
out of the Bay up in California,
Okay.
and she did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
Great job.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, all in all we spent about 18 grand.
Okay. Okay. Wait, where'd the rest of it go?
Where did it go? Where did it come from?
You said you raised 5K.
We raised 5K, then I had to work some double, working a lot.
Oh, so you and then you
I
added,
funded,
so
yeah,
it
I
went up
funded
to almost
everything else.
$7,000.
Yeah,
Everything.
yeah.
Because you had to do the five, you got the 5K,
We
and then
got
you
the
put
five.
18 in.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Am I making sense?
Yeah. No, not 1800, 18,000.
What?
Yeah.
Y'all
Yeah.
gotta go see the movie, y'all.
Please, yeah. Oh, not 1800, 18,000 total.
You put 18,000 of your own?
Yeah.
Why are you making movies? You gotta come with
Hey, remember I told you I'm the only fan that doesn't have kids? I
well, you don't need nothing. You don't got. This
Oh,
your
I
kid.
can't afford them now. I can't afford them now.
Anime. That's your kid.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, but hey, if you believe in something and nobody's gonna believe in you. Nobody's gonna believe in you as much as you believe in yourself. And if you believe in a story and you believe in what you're doing, you gotta take a risk.
Yeah.
Trust me, it was hard. It was hard because at that time I was really intentional about wanting to buy a home.
Okay.
And I was like, this could have been a nice down payment. But yeah, hopefully, not hopefully, when it pays off, when it pays off, and it will open doors to other avenues, get it back twofold.
Yeah. Where is this? We said this at the end, but I want to go ahead and plug it now. Where can people see it? When is it out?
So we're still working on it. So we're still working on. We still work on distribution.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're still working on distribution. I may put it up on. I may put it up on YouTube, but I have to be very careful with that because with the film festivals that I'm submitting to, some of them they have to be the premiere. So you can't have it streaming anywhere else until it premieres at this film festival. So just stay in touch with my social media. And I will be I'm submitted to a number of film festivals, so I'll let you guys know, where they can see it, and things like that.
But that's really important though that you said that, and I'm glad you said that because I didn't know that part. Because I told you I'm working on a short film, but I'm waiting until it's done to do all the I don't want to put the chicken before the egg. No, the cart.
For the
I'm tired.
Horse, one of them. Yeah, I know.
I don't want to put the cart before the horse.
Yeah.
Because it's like one of those things where it's like, I want to make sure it's done before I start doing the other stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's just my approach because I'm like, oh, I don't want to jinx it or whatever. But that's such an important part of saying, oh, if you put it on YouTube, that's fine, but you may take yourself off, disqualify yourself from some of the film festivals. Correct. So that's really important.
Yeah.
To know that. What did you go to school for?
I went to school for hospitality management.
Oh, and that's what you do.
Yes.
You're using your degree?
I am. I know. One of the few.
What's happening?
One of the few.
Do you like it?
One of the few. I like it. I definitely like it. It's afforded me the opportunity to live in. So I've lived in 7 different cities now.
Okay.
All pretty much through work. So
yeah.
It's amazing. Every day isn't easy. Definitely wasn't easy during the pandemic. But the thing that it's also afforded me is opportunity to make connections. So
right.
while I'm there, check people in, check people out.
Yeah.
I got a chance to meet somebody like Risha, who was able to give me some great guidance on how to navigate in the film world. I'm able to meet financiers of different companies. I'm able to meet actors and actresses. So like everything, it doesn't matter if you are working hospitality, if you're a podcaster, actor, multi-hyphenate like yourself, or if you are a trash man. You have to use your job to make the connections that you want to help benefit what you want to do.
Yeah, no, I think that's really important because I think a lot of times we dread what we have to do for 9 to 5. Maybe not in your case, but you hear these stories a lot.
Absolutely.
And I had a shift in my perspective on that like 5 years ago, and I was like, well, I got laid off, and I was like, I'm not doing what I was doing before ever again. And I had to do some soul searching, and then like what are my hard skills and blah blah blah. And what I realized during that time was like, I have to make sure I get something that's going to help me in my life. I'm going to give so much time to these people in this company. I have to be getting something in return more than just a paycheck. And that's changed my life. So it was I think having that approach when you have to go get these 9 to 5s. I mean, let's be honest, it's like steady money, and it's, so we need them. But also, I think I encourage people to find something relatively close to what they want to do.
Absolutely.
And I won't say you use the job, but I mean, use it to your benefit.
Yes.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time. I mean, it's not every day that I'm waking up like, I can't wait to go to work.
You're right.
But it's like, you never know in those days. You have to always, for me, I'm very big on, does the good outweigh the bad? Am I making money? Yes. And is it a vessel for me to meet people, to help me transition to potentially a new career? Yes. Am I able to use hotel discounts to travel the world? Yes. All right. I'll go.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's been your favorite city in America?
Oh, favorite city in America. That I've lived in or visited?
You lived in, because it's very different.
Okay, true.
Visiting is going on a date.
Yeah, okay.
Living is y'all in a relationship.
Yes. Man, I would say Miami for sure.
Really?
Yes, I love the diversity of Miami.
Okay, I'm surprised. What part did you live in?
I lived in Little Havana.
Okay, how long were you there?
I was there 2 years.
Okay, I lived in Miami.
Okay.
Miami Beach, right on Meridian and 6th Street.
Okay.
And I did like it, but I don't know. It was very short. Then the pandemic hit, so I don't know if I would have liked it long term.
Yeah. So okay, I'll definitely say Miami. I'll say I can do 3.
No, yeah.
Okay. I'll say definitely Maryland. So when I moved, I lived in Glen Burnie, which is really close to PG County, and I love just going to Bowie to. I love Maryland in general, as well as you're only 30 minutes from DC, and you can just either take the metro in or drive over and have a time of your life on U Street, or go over to or go over to the African American Museum. Just go through, try all the different foods, go to Busboys and Poets. Like I really enjoyed Maryland, DC, and then the third may surprise you, but it's Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, it was amazing. It's home to a lot of Native American tribes, so I got a chance to learn about that culture.
Yeah.
Very, very nice people. The food is very good, and it's on the West Coast.
Okay, I was asking because I'm just fascinated with the different cities. I lived in a lot of cities as well, but I really think your environment is so important. Oh, you know what I mean? Absolutely. So I think dating a few states, cities and states is important. It's fun, and you learn a lot about yourself. So
absolutely. Yeah.
I back to the movie really quickly. What was or anything you want to say? What's was the hardest thing or the biggest failure?
The hardest thing or the biggest failure? Wow, that's a great question. The hardest thing I feel was, you know, just the mustering up the belief that you're really gonna do it. Like it's something that you have the script, you have the actors locked in, you've done the rehearsals, you paid the money for all the locations and the sites and all the locations. I'm sorry, and the equipment and everything. But when I tell you that night before, it was just treacherous because I'm like, are you really gonna show up and do this? Is it really gonna happen? Like, it's something like, so it's just, yeah, doing that. But I feel like it was once I wrapped the second day, I feel like that's when I really adopted the mindset of, to be great, you have to be slightly delusional.
Yeah.
And I trust me, I heard people of like, you get into film at this age, like with no experience, you think you want to do that, and I was like, yeah, I've been able to pretty much succeed at everything I told myself I was gonna do. So why wouldn't I do it to that?
You have evidence.
Yes. And I'll say one thing too is like, you just can't afraid to be. One thing I learned is like, you can't afraid to be annoying. And what I mean by that is, some people, especially in this time and age, they're too cool to hit people up and things like that. And it's like, even for like our interaction, like I DM'd you before, to say, hey, can I get on the show?
Really?
Yeah. No story, but it's like, but some people will take oh, she DM me back, like that's it. And it's like, no, you gotta be resilient. You gotta ask the question, because at the end of the day, you need to get something from this person. I'll tell you a crazy story. So the writer director for Johnson, the show that Risha was a producer of, super nice guy, Deji Luray, but he's just very, very busy. So when I told him about the script, he had told me, like, respectfully, brother, I'm really busy, but when I can make time, I'll make time.
Yeah.
Time again, when I get to it. We're on Instagram. I went to Mexico City for a friend's wedding, and I'm on Instagram. I'm looking at his story. He's in Mexico City, and I'm like, oh, he's celebrating his birthday. You know what? I had a couple tequilas. You know what? Let me shoot my shot. Like, hey man, I see you in Mexico. I know you told me you was busy, but I'm here too. Can I take you to a drink and we can talk about the film? And he hit me back. He was like, wow, that's crazy. Yeah, let's do it. So it's like, I could have taken, all his rejection as like, all right, screw it. But the fact that, I was persistent, he was just like, oh, I'm rocking with that. And he gave me some great pointers. So, and I feel like I lead that. I follow that. Now, if I need something, or I want to get an answer, I'm gonna ask the question. And whether if I want to get specifically from you, I'm gonna continue to ask until put the papers on me. But but I'm gonna get my answer, because it's gonna benefit me.
Who was he again?
His name is Deji Luray. He is the writer director of the show Johnson.
Right. Okay. Wow. Be persistent, and like don't worry about rejection.
Don't try to be too cool. Don't try to be too cool, because you'll be too cool wishing you would have done something. Or you could be taken as slightly a pest, but you got to where you want it to be. And as long as you're doing everything, ethically, and you approach them with respect, they'll fuck with you.
I'm gonna start pastoring people today.
You got to.
Dang. Why would you ask just once? That's crazy. I had an aha moment. Hey. I gotta start, because I didn't know you had DMs before. Did you really?
Yeah.
What did I say?
You had told me, because the first time it was just like, hey, it was a pleasure to meet you at CNA, COA.
Yeah.
And then I actually had asked if you wanted to, I believe, do the red carpet questions for the
I didn't get this.
Yeah.
I wanted to do it.
It might have went to your personal. I might send to your personal.
Oh, but Instagram is a hater. I'm gonna give you my number after this.
Yeah, hey. But but then when Gary brought you up again and showed me about the podcast, I was like, oh, this is fire. So then that's when I reached out again. But it's like, hey, I knew that from when I had met you at COA. You gave out good energy. You had talked to me about my clothing line and everything like that. So it's just like, everybody, never discount people's busyness. Like
yes, or
people,
Instagram hiding your
that's true.
message.
Yes, that too. Because I just found out on Instagram like there's like a primary general and general
I
or
just
something
found that
like that.
too. That's why before the show I was telling you I've been booked.
Yeah.
Because I found 3 people who had messaged me that wanted to be on the show.
Yeah.
One was like a month ago, and I was like, I'm just seeing this. I'm so sorry. Please come on the show. So I would love to have you as a guest. And it came on. DJ Shots is out. He's like, man, she ignored me. I was like, I didn't.
That's the
Because even if I'm gonna say no, I'm still gonna respect you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't just ignore a message. So if I ignored it, I didn't see it, or I forgot, or something. Yes, be persistent. I love that because these people in this industry got motion.
Always, and they're busy, and we know as creatives there's just be a lot in our minds. Yeah. So we could read it, and then we go to read a script, and then somebody hits you up about doing a podcast, and it's just like I had the intention to respond, but things kept happening.
I heard this advice. I don't know, but this says respond to something right away, because I used to have this really bad habit of I did it in text, I did it at work, I did it in DMs. I would read it and I would respond in my mind, and then I was like, I'm gonna get right back to it, and then I never do it. And or I've even gotten mad at people for not texting me back. I didn't send the text. It was only sent here. So that's what we're gonna do. Telepathy. It's like so. But so now I incorporated that into my life. I try to respond right away, because again, I was doing that. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I was doing the thing of trying to be cool, not with this kind of stuff, but like in my personal life, even with friends, like I'm busy, like I don't want to like seem too thirsty for but now I don't do that. I'm like, if I see it, I'm gonna respond right away. Unless it's something I need to think about, like something like that. But if it's something I can respond to, or sometimes I might, like even with you, I had another guest today, so I was waiting for her to confirm her time. I was like, I'm not responding to him. Well, he probably think I'm ignoring. Like, no, I'm waiting to confirm. It's like so many moving parts.
And I get that. I definitely understand that. And thank you again for fitting me in.
No, thank you for being here. I won't have a show without guests. Like, let's sit here and talk to the camera. They're like, oh my gosh, shut up, girl. We heard all your stories. They heard everything I gotta say. They did. Unless I have some new events, they ain't trying to hear me. So plus I started the show because I wanted people to learn things, and I want to learn things, and I can think, but I'm not gonna learn that. I already know the stuff I know. So I love that, to be consistent and persistent.
Oh yeah, got to.
As long as you're not being weird.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. Oh, you gotta approach everything professionally.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know what after wrapping this film, it just really put in my mind, like, it's crazy to think that you'll ever just get something on the first attempt, whether that be a response, whether that would be, to master filmmaking, to master being in a relationship. Like, it's crazy, almost crazy to think that, I'll do it one time and I'll be perfect. Like, or I'll get what I'm looking for. Like, no, it's going to take some falling down the stairs. It's going to take some walking backwards and thinking about it. It's going to take.
Oh, that reminded me. I had this thought when working on the film, but did you ever think, oh my God, I can't believe these people are trusting me?
Yes. Oh yes. Especially, I'll give you an example. I told you, Shantae, since I graduated, we were in New York from 2010 to like 2014-ish.
Okay.
And that time she's all just doing acting and stuff. So she's a seasoned actress.
Yeah.
And here I am, just like part-time boxer, part-time hotelier, trying to recruit you from my film.
Right.
But it was really one of my good friends, my DP. We actually went to middle school together, but he, went to Full Sail University. He really took it serious. He has worked from everything to Netflix, to Sprite, to Boys and Girls Club, to he works with Dave Chappelle. And again, you just got to be a little bit out of your wits. I hit him up like, hey bro, this is my first time doing anything. Whatever you're getting paid, I probably can't match it, but I can get you some.
Right.
And I want you to read it and look out. And some people, I was at that time, had people close to me that were in the industry, and they're like, why are you even reading? You need to get a student, or you need to find somebody. I'm like, no, like, I see his work. This is what I want.
Yeah.
And so when we locked in, and I was just like, there was times I was like, taking my direction, like, let's do exploitation, like in HBO and Tribeca, like, and I'm telling him like this is what I see.
Yeah.
All right, but
were you intimidated?
Um, I was, I was, but to my, I was, but I wasn't. And what I mean by that, of course, it was my first time.
Yeah.
I'm like I said, had a lot of seasoned professionals there, not wanting to waste their time. But shout out to the team, man. They really just came through and showed love and just made it a very easy process.
What I've noticed about people who I like admire, I guess, or respect, or who I've worked with, is like they don't care about who you are or the role that they're given. And I don't mean role as far as acting, but just any role in that project. They care about what I've seen from successful people who I think are successful. They care about the goal,
the end result.
Yeah. Yes. So it's like I don't care that if this is your first film or your 20th. What am I responsible? What do you need me to do? And I'm going to play my position. And I love people like that because I've had this one guy who does background with us. He's a comedian and like I know he's not used to being freaking background, but he's like, no, whatever you need, like I'm good with that. And it's not being too like I'm too cool or whatever. And then people remember that, especially when you're easy to work with. That's like my goal is to be easy to work with within reason. Like I have my standards and my brand. And some things I'm not going to bend on because of integrity and stuff like that. But like, if I want people to say whether they like me or whatever, she was easy to work with, and she showed up and did what I asked her to do. I hope that's what people say.
No, that goes a long way because that's what. So going back to the point of not being defined as a role, like I had a really good friend, Brianna Williams, who was a writer director herself that had wrote a project and filmed it maybe for the maybe about like 2 to 3 weeks before, and like I've helped her with commercials and stuff. So like she does this, and I just asked him like, would you mind? I promise I'm not trying to disrespect you, but if you come be a PA? Wow. She was like, absolutely, like of course, and like she she was helping with other things as well. But yeah, it's just really being humble because it's one goal, and the end goal is to see this project thrive.
And I think those sometimes I can't speak for everybody, but I know sometimes it's also because it's the love of the work, like it's the love of the art, and we know how important this work is to us. Like that's why we put 18K. Why he did 18K. But that's why we'll do like have sleepless nights, and sometimes you don't see anything happening, and you keep showing up because we love what we do.
Absolutely. And it's like you don't want to. So I had, like I said, a seasoned DP, I had seasoned actors, I had a really dope artist lend me some of her music to be in the project. A fashion designer, she was my wardrobe, and like she's worked with Ava DuVernay and stuff. So it's like you want to highlight these people. These people are donating their time and talent to you. You have to make it look of caliber to only elevate not yourself but them as well. Because at the end of the day, everybody that donated their time and talent, I want this to be a great reflection of them and their work, because it's only going to help them. The more that I grow, they grow.
Right. And it's so important, I think, to respect people who show up for you, but also their craft. Absolutely. All the hours they've put into being good at what they do. Absolutely. Before you even walked in the room, it's like you gotta put some respect on their names. They did a lot to be good for your project. So all of that stuff means a lot, I think. I did want to touch base on your clothing line.
So this is actually one of the shirts. The clothing line is called Favela Fashion.
Wait, again?
Favela Fashion.
Okay. Favela Fashion.
Yes.
Got you.
So after college, I had ended up moving to Brazil.
Okay.
And everybody favela is kind of like the projects over there, if you will. And everybody had told me, stay away from the favelas. It's very dangerous. Da 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 da. And I just didn't have that experience at all. I was actually donating my time at like an orphanage that housed some of the kids from the favela community. And just, when the kids were, of course, beautiful. And like sometimes the parents would come, they just maybe didn't have all the means to keep them all the time. And they were just very appreciative, very just like strong people in the sense of they're prideful of while they may not have all of the luxuries of the Western um, well-off world, they had pride in what was theirs, what they can cook, what their home was, and their sense of they're just very loving. So I just created a brand that I wanted to highlight them. And actually, every year I do a give back to a different favela community. So from proceeds from the shirts, from the tracksuits, the hats that I sell, I'll do a give back.
How long has the clothing
3 years?
3 years?
Yeah, 3 years.
Okay. You seem like someone who is very thoughtful and intentional with your life. So I don't know, shout out to you.
Thank you. I mean, hey, we're all trying to figure it out. We are all trying to figure it out.
But I don't know. I haven't always been intentional with my life. This is a more recent development.
Okay.
But it's fun. It's good.
Okay.
It's better. It's better on this side, on the intentional side.
I will say I love it here. I love it. I love it here.
Being intentional has changed my life. But anyway, we're running up on time. Wait, I have one more question before we go. But wait, did we cover everything that you wanted to talk about?
First of all, shout out to the host. Absolutely amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I definitely just want to bring awareness to the clothing line, so you can research the brand as well as the research the brand and cop merch if you would like. Go to www.favelafashionllc.com, and then with the film, as we discussed, we're still trying to find distribution at the moment, but there will be different pop-ups in Atlanta in which I'll be showing it.
Okay.
So I will shoot that over to you, and possibly you can promote it, or I'll give out my Instagram so you can get that. But Oxtail Anime, we're here to raise awareness on heart health and emotional intelligence within the minority community.
I will definitely, that'll be in the show notes. And I'll be excited to promote your film when it comes out. So just if I don't respond to the first message,
I got you.
I'm gonna give you my number.
Okay, cool.
That's better because the DMs be crazy. Not like that. Not like that.
Yeah. No, but you have a growing platform, so it's gonna be.
It'd be weird, wild over there. I was like, I don't. But a text is more legit.
Gotcha.
But I did want to say really quickly, being intentional about what we purchased as well. And so please check out the clothing line. We done canceled a few companies. I ain't gonna say no names. So we support each other. And not only the Black community, but also small businesses and entrepreneurs out here doing it for ourselves.
Yes.
So please check it out, and I'll be sure to check it out as well.
Thank you.
That's so exciting. Okay, I think we did it. Oh, my final question: what does success mean to you?
Success is, for me, is being able to put somebody in a position where they want to be. So it's not so much monetarily, it's not so much having a certain status within the industry. It's up and coming director calling me and saying, "Hey, I need some guidance on how to create my first short film." And I can provide what I have, but I can also potentially make a call to get him or her into a program to help them progress what they want to do. It's, hey, I have this music, I want to see it, I want to get it out there. Okay, I can make a call to a record label. That's success to me. It's being able to help people within my community achieve their goals.
Yeah, that feels good. Okay, all right. How do you stay humble? Like, because some people have been around the world and they're like, I know I said that was my last question. But this is my question. And then I've done this and I don't know. How do you just stay, it seems, patient and humbled? And I'm putting that on you because I don't know if that's how you really feel.
No, I just know that I'm very lucky and blessed to be in the position that I'm in, and never take anything for granted. I mean, the pandemic showed us that.
Yeah.
But I've just had I've had a number of losses within my life that came rather immediately. Um, so I just know that, while things can be up right now, in the blink of an eye, they can be just as down. So, just live within the moment. Know that you're never too high, you're never too low. Just stay even keel.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it. Be a good person. Just be a good person.
Yeah.
And, I feel like, you can define what that is for you, but just, yeah, I'm always ever evolving, like we said, humans are. I'm ever evolving to become better, but when I become better, the goal is then to make somebody else become better as well.
Yeah. Okay. And how do you celebrate your wins?
That I don't know. I actually touched on that at the project that I don't celebrate much of anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that is foreign to me.
Yeah.
Of celebrating, not saying that I wasn't taken aback by this feat of putting out the project, and I look forward to you watching the project and everybody that's watching here seeing the project and hearing the feedback. But I am very much like, okay, cool, we did that. What's next?
Okay. Yeah.
So definitely an area potentially to work on. But I also feel like potentially that may keep me a little humble as well.
True. This guy I met at a networking event, he said to me, if someone says something to you in a moment where it just resonates, he was like, celebrate your small wins, celebrate every win. And I don't know, from that moment, because I never celebrated anything. And because it is like, what's next? What's that? You know where you want to go.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not there.
Yeah.
But something about that spoke to me, and I've been practicing it, and it feels good. But it's not like monetary or anything. It's just getting excited about something, like a little tiny win. I'm like, I'm celebrating every win, and all it is like, I'll just share it with somebody I know and be real pumped about it, and then move on. So that's like a 5-minute thing, but then go on to the next thing. Yeah. I'm not gonna get lost in that. Absolutely. I gotta. You're just as good as the last thing you did, or
absolutely.
whatever.
Yes.
So I'm not gonna stay on that. But yeah, it's been fun. So let me try. Do whatever you want. But try.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna try it in real time. I'm celebrate a win because when we happened to be at COA at the same time, and we were able to make a connection. Yes. That I could feel comfortable enough reaching out to you to be on your platform, and you invited me, so it is a win.
It is a win.
We work together. We work together and putting out content, so definitely a win.
The first of many.
Thank you.
Yeah, you'll learn. Like, you'll have to do other interviews.
Oh,
no, you don't have to, but you probably will to keep promoting the movie, and then your next project and the clothing line. And
thank you.
You gotta go. You gotta be out there.
Thank you. One piece of advice I'll give to you is that I'm on right now is just once you put your project out, your short film you're working on, keep working it. Keep working it like a number one hit record. Keep pushing it, get it in front of everybody, because that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm just kind of going on a mini world tour with this thing and just putting it out there. So hopefully when it sticks to different places, it bubbles up.
Okay. All right. I'm going to do it because you told me. Yes. I'm very receptive to information. Did I say receptive? You got what I was saying.
Receptive. Okay.
Yeah. All right. You caught me at the end of the day, though. I'm like a little sleepy, so I'm sorry if this interview was all over the place. It's okay.
It was good.
It's okay. Focus on the guests. Okay. I'm going to close this out. Thank you, Donel, for being on the show, spending your time with me and inspiring listeners to redefine success for themselves. You can find out more about Donel on...
You can follow me on Instagram at Fernandes, FERNANDES _world. You can find out information on the clothing line. Once again, you can visit the website at www.favelafashionllc.com. We also have an Instagram, Favela Fashion LLC. And then about the film, visit Film Freeway /Oxtail and Anime, or you can just go on Instagram, Oxtail and Anime.
Yay, okay. Check it out, y'all. And it'll be in the show notes. I always say that. Y'all know that. But you can just look down and click. And thank you, listeners, for tuning in. I really appreciate you all listening, especially people who listen every week. like Sean and Sharon. And let me know if you're listening every week, and I'll shout you out, y'all. But thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. Please share the episode, share the channel, all that stuff, all the stuff. Like, share, subscribe. And shout out and thank you to Anthony, the producer, who's falling asleep. I guess I'm not keeping you. You know what? I need you to be the hype man in the background. And I asked the guests to say the tagline is long, okay, which is we'll show you our definition of success if you show us yours. We'll it's long.
We'll show you our definition of success
if you show us yours.
If you show us yours.
Thank you for being a good sport. Hey. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Yes.